Oh, it's live, pal.
Sorry.
We will ban you from the Summerfest.
Right here in the Silverdome.
Jeff Harvey.
And I have half the brain that you do.
Welcome to the Wrestle Hunks Podcast, a podcast where three hunks get together and discuss some of the very worst things you can find on the WWE Network, and the only podcast that won't go chasing waterfalls. I'm your host, the Mordecai of Microphone, Brandon Marlow, and as always, I'm joined by the hunkiest hunk, Brody Price.
Good evening.
It's definitely evening.
Because we're waiting for you still.
Hey, I was waiting for you guys, and then I went away, and then it flipped around.
Yeah, that's it.
It's the old double turn, as they say in the business.
Yeah.
I'm also joined by the IMDb of wrestling, Nathan Marlow.
I just picked up some Regal Cola, so I'm ready to go.
Oh, fuck. You're ready to get lit. It's no LA Ice.
Let's go. Oh, it's pretty close.
Fun fact, if you want to pretend you're stone cold with a cola beverage, don't do it with Regal Cola.
They explode.
Yeah, it ends poorly. It explodes in your holiday house on the old Murray River, and you have to clean it off the ceiling.
Or lick it.
Parents never found out, though, so...
Yeah, cool. I wasn't there for that, so...
Hey, man, you should have been there. You should have known us when we were, like, fucking 10.
I didn't have Facebook back then, man.
You shouldn't have went to... You went to Westie Primary?
Yeah.
You should have went to Walmart Park.
That's a trek.
We had a tree on our... as our, like, a little emblem.
That's pretty
We
lame.
did.
We had a bridge.
We're deaf people.
Yeah, we had a special deaf facility. Nat learned sign language and everything. It was crazy.
Guys, I'm signing right now.
Oh, I'll wait for you too.
Well, the Wrestle Hunks Podcast is again brought to you by a sponsor, and I think Nat's probably going to sign out this ad read, but this week it's WWE Talking Soap, and as always, Nat's going to tell you a little bit more about it.
WWE Talking Soap. Just wet it up and let them talk to you. It's like the superstars are showering with you. Vanilla scented, with such great catchphrases as "Go wash up in jabroni, you stink," and
Pick up the soap now. What?
"This is official licensed product of WrestleMania 20.
Is that a shoot? Was this actually a WrestleMania 20 thing?
It's got it on the box, the WrestleMania 20 logo.
I've also got another question. How does the soap talk? All the soap I've used generally is just...
It's mechanical, and apparently... Well, there was a guy who bought it, and he used it, and he threw it in his toilet. And turned the water yellow.
Oh,
Like it left a yellow residue, and it also stopped working after being in water, so...
Another fine WWE product. You know, if they stamp their logo on it, it's going to be top notch.
Exactly right. Just like the Stone Cold Steve Austin condoms.
Oh man, I wonder how many unplanned babies came from those fucking Stone Cold condoms.
I don't know about babies, but maybe abortions.
Wow. Oh, it wasn't Sninsky's fault. So this week on the podcast, we're reviewing One Night Stand Extreme Rules 2008 in honour of the 2018 TLC pay-per-view. This pay-per-view features a TLC match in the main event between The Undertaker and Edge. And before we get into that, what did you guys think of this year's TLC pay-per-view? I don't think you watched it, did you, Nat?
I did, yeah.
Oh, you did watch it?
I had to watch it in parts.
Yeah, so what did you think? We'll start off with you for once.
It was okay. Just nothing really grabbed me. I thought the tables match, Ruby Riott and Natalya, sucked.
Oh man, that was me and Pricey watched this pay per view together, and oh boy, we had a bit of a laugh during that.
Also, I was talking to Pricey just then about Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles, and I literally don't remember a thing of that match.
It was like...
Except the finish.
It was a good match, but nothing memorable. It kind of reminds me of like all the matches AJ and Joe and AJ and Shinsuke had. They're all good, but it's like... you don't really remember them.
Yeah.
I also skipped to the very end of the Dean match because Dean's boring.
Oh, thank you. Someone else that agrees.
And I liked the main event. And the Baron Corbin spot was kind of lame.
What did you think, Pricey?
Yeah, it wasn't great, but I think it tied up all the loose ends, and it storyline-wise, it did everything it needed to. The Strowman Corbin thing didn't need to be any longer than what it was. It probably could have gone a couple minutes shorter, but the main event was good. It sets up the Ronda Rousey match with whoever she's going to wrestle, so I thought it was okay. And like you said, just none of the matches were as good as what we probably would have hoped, especially Brian AJ and Seth Dean, for that matter. They probably should have been better than what they were, considering the talent. It
was a serviceable pay-per-view. The only real stinker that I can remember off the top of my head is the tables match. That was god awful. But
I mean, the mixed match challenge, but that wasn't expected to be good, I don't think.
That was just really a comedy match, which like Carmella and R-Truth do pretty good comedy, so I can't complain too much of that.
That's true.
But yeah, like the tables match kind of sucked, but then when Natalya brought out the table with Ruby Riott on it, I was like, all right.
Oh, that got bad.
I thought Liv Morgan took a really good bump. I thought that was
She did. That was a pretty brutal bump.
Yeah.
Speaking of fucking brutal bumps, shout out to Charlotte just getting absolutely fucked up. Every big spot in that match was designed for Charlotte to just take everything.
Charlotte must pose.
She ate like the bottom 1% of that fucking table.
I don't know how she wasn't knocked the fuck out from that. Literally, like, her head just smashed off it.
And she took all of Becky's weight when she jumped off the ladder through the announce table. So, I mean, good for her. If she's still like alive and healthy right now, good for her.
If it comes out in the next 24 hours that Charlotte has an injury, I will not be surprised. Especially that leg drop. It was her whole force, Becky's force coming down on Charlotte. And then the table didn't break right away. They like did the leg drop and then it waited like half a second and then it broke. But yeah, it was a solid pay-per-view. It was better than some of the other shit that they've put on this year. So hopefully onto better and bigger and better things with the Rumble.
Can't wait for the boss tomorrow night.
He's going to serve it up Vinnie Mac tomorrow.
He's going to make Shelton Benjamin the new general manager, I reckon.
Oh, there we go.
McMahon's $1 Million Mania's coming back.
2.0.
You two are fucking twins. Brandon said that today.
I said that exactly.
You guys are brothers.
It's probably because there's a promo for it in here.
We've got McMahon's $1 Million Mania on the brain.
Spoilers, bro.
I don't think as a society we talk enough about when McMahon's $1 Million Mania set fell on him.
I forgot about that.
I don't remember that, man.
We all talk about... You don't remember it?
No.
It was like the final one or something, and then like he's doing it, and then the set just falls down on him.
On purpose?
Yeah, like this was like kayfabe, and I'm pretty sure like Triple H and stuff comes out. This was like around the time when they're finally acknowledging that Triple H and Stephanie are actually married, and yeah, he comes out, and everybody talks about Vince's limo blowing up, but this is obviously the better one. I'm pretty sure it was just there for him to get out of like having to give away $1 million every week, but
makes sense. I haven't seen it. I'll go back and look at it.
Well, we had the poll for this week's, what we reviewed for this week's episode, and it's becoming repetitive, but this week's poll was yet another tight race. One Night Stand 2008 won the poll on 32% of the vote, with Tables, Ladders, Chairs and Stairs and the Ric Flair Edge TLC match on Raw coming in with 26%. And as usual, my option, which was TLC 2011, came in last on 16%.
Boo.
Mine had the worst matches on it, I reckon, out of all of them, and fucking no one voted for it.
People seem to vote for the best.
Well, you put up that Survivor Series 1994 in that one, so...
Yeah, because everyone would see Pink, Jink and Wink.
Speaking of them, me and Pricey watched the old Edge and Christian show after the pay-per-view.
Yeah,
and
I did too.
Did you? They featured a lot of Survivor Series 1994 on their little... their
Teamsters,
game
Clowns
shows.
Are Us and Royal Family.
Yeah, they couldn't get any of them.
what's it? The Chump Stain Challenge? Is that what it was?
Yep.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah,
The Charlie Caruso Stain Challenge.
yeah. Brandon and I won that one because we had all our knowledge from 1994.
We're Survivor Series team name aficionados.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, we all won because we got to see Charlie Caruso.
Ooh, baby.
I think we all won because we got to see Pete Gas.
He's on the gas.
So had either of you seen One Night Stand 2008 before watching it for this podcast?
I don't think I did. I sort of remember a couple spots from it, but I don't remember ever watching any of these matches.
What about you, Nat?
For once, I've never seen this.
That's impressive.
I just never wanted to watch it.
I remember, I think I would have been coming home from school and jumping on WWE.com and seeing the result of the main event, but that's it. Because I was like, oh, fuck. Take a loss. I didn't want that to happen.
He's gone from WWE forever.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I'm like, damn, I really like Taker. He had 2 good WrestleMania matches in a row. This fucking Edge, he's a bloody heel.
You're like, oh, well, there's another monster coming up from ECW. His name's Mike Knox.
I thought you were going to say Vladimir Kozlov.
Him too.
Mate, Mike Knox in a different life. He could have been the Undertaker.
Fun fact, Mike Knox was one of the jihadis from Muhammad Hassan's, the thing he got fired for.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was one of the hooded mask guys.
Real chunky terrorist, Mike Knox.
He was. I learned that today.
It's like when, you ever seen when Mark Henry dressed up as Undertaker's druid?
Yes.
There was this image that used to float around and it was like, Mark Henry, like, in the druid costume. It was like, Mark Henry, you're fooling nobody. It's just, oh, wow. But yeah, that's what Mike Knox being the terrorist reminds me of. So it's time to get into the history, build-up, and background for One Night Stand Extreme Rules 2008. It's a fucking mouthful, this pay-per-view title. So it was held on June 1st, 2008, and this is our second review from 2008 after we reviewed Survivor Series 2008 a few weeks back now. And on this day in history, there was a fire at the backlot of Universal Studios Hollywood, which destroys several icons from movies, such as the Courthouse Square, which is the tower from Back to the Future. I knew you were going to react like that, Nat. Yeah, so that's gone forever.
Oh, God, Stuart wouldn't care because he thinks the third one's the best one.
No, well, Grandpa's grew up in the Wild West, so we can excuse that opinion.
It's actually sad.
It also destroys the King Kong exhibit on the studio tour. But if you go there, you can still see the house from Psycho. So,
oh, well, that's okay then.
There's that.
That's okay then.
In more important news, Tommy Lapid, an Israeli journalist and politician, died on this day, which is good for him. He lived a long life.
Oh my God, the next one's devastating.
Yeah, Yves Saint Laurent. I don't know. I'm not
Just
French.
YSL.
Yeah, just YSL. Your boy YSL, the French fashion designer, dies at 71. So pretty young, actually. So
That's kind of sad.
All that money.
They make $800 slides.
If anyone wants to donate $800 slides to the podcast, feel free.
I'll trade you my Gucci ones.
Or if they want to sponsor the podcast, also feel free.
In general.
Them or Pino's Pizza, we're not fussy.
We'll take anyone's money.
Yeah, if you have money and you want to give it to us, we will take it.
I will sell that shit to the fucking moon and back.
I don't care what shady shit you're involved in. I will fucking sell it like it's gold.
I will put your product all over my car.
Just cover the windows, you can't see out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So in pop culture, we had Take a Bow by Rihanna as the #1 song on the charts at the time, and Sex and the City was the #1 film at the box office, which thrilled Nat.
Bloody hell, this has been out like easily the best day in history.
June 1, 2008 is definitely one of the best days in your life. Well, actually, no, Back to the Future thing burnt down, so it's just...
I can see my copy of Sex and the City in the movie right now.
Yeah, I saw that the other day.
Thank you. I got it really cheap.
So, One Night Stand 2008 was held in the San Diego Sports Arena in San Diego, California. The attendance for this event was, well, there's a bit of murkiness about what the attendance is. The two sources that I usually trust to give me this attendance figure said 15,960, but Wikipedia had it listed as 9,961. I saw a couple other sources say that. I couldn't find a definitive thing, so I just remember
I'm gonna go with Wikipedia.
I don't know. Wikipedia had it, but then Profight database had it, and like cagematch.net had the 15,000 one. So I just decided to pump up the numbers. I decided to be one of Vince's boys, help him out.
That's nice of you.
So the pay-per-view buy rate has actual concrete figures, and it did 194,000. This was the third fewest buys for 2008, just ahead of Armageddon on 193,000, and Cyber Sunday, which did a terrible 153,000. This pay-per-view took place 2 weeks after Judgment Day, so obviously it was going to do shit. How did these fucking idiots not realize that these pay-per-views always sold like shit? Like,
It's true.
it took them ages to realize that these pay-per-views were never going to sell. They should have learned from December to Dismember.
Why they have so many
You know what they
pay-per-views
should-
that year?
For a bit, they had 13 pay-per-views for some reason. I think it was because in 2008 they've just ended the brand exclusive shows.
Yeah.
So I think they must have had some deal or something that required them to have 13, because they would have been running 13, I think, with the SmackDown and Raw. Or maybe they were just greedy and they were just like, fuck it, we can get away with it. But yeah, it never worked out well. But as I mentioned, the previous pay-per-view was Judgment Day 2008, which was held just 2 weeks earlier. The show did a reasonable 252,000 buys, which was actually the second best amount of buys for a Judgment Day pay-per-view post-2003, so in the era where things kind of dropped off. This show actually did pretty well as far as Judgment Day pay-per-views go. And the card for that show was Cody Rhodes and Hardcore Holly as the tag champs, defeating Carlito and Santino Marella in a dark match for the World Tag Team titles. We also had John Cena defeating John Bradshaw Layfield, The Miz and Morrison defeating CM Punk and Kane for the WWE Tag Team Championship, which is fucking, what a random team. Is there anyone that Kane didn't tag with at some point?
I was going to say Santino was a joke, but that happened.
See, he just tags with everyone. When they have nothing for him, chuck him in a tag team. We also had Shawn Michaels defeating Chris Jericho in a match that gets 4 stars from Dave Meltzer. Mickie James defeating Beth Phoenix and Molina. And Pricey, that actually answers our question today of who the fuck is the women's champion at this time. It's Mickie James.
She retained the title, but they made it look like Beth was like the dominant one in that match.
Yeah, and I'm going to hold my thoughts for it later, because we had a bit of a discussion about Mickie James' appearance in this show. But yeah, my little brief teaser is that Mickie James is a fucking shit champion. So after that, we got The Undertaker defeating Edge via countout in a World Heavyweight Championship match, Jeff Hardy defeating MVP, and then Triple H defeating Randy Orton in a steel cage match to retain the WWE Championship. And the main feud heading into One Night Stand on the Raw brand was between Triple H and Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. At Backlash, a Fatal 4-Way elimination match took place for the WWE Championship, and the contestants were Randy Orton, Triple H, John Cena, and JBL. Triple H won the match after last eliminating Orton to win the title, and at Judgment Day, Triple H defended the WWE Championship in a steel cage match on the May 19 episode of Raw, which, man, Kane would have been starting some fucking shit on that episode. Surely you boys remember May 19.
May 19.
Oh, that was for the movie. I forgot about that.
That was just the
what year
release
was
date of the
that?
movie, yeah?
What year was that?
I want to say 2005.
Oh, Jesus. Yes, it was for the release date of the movie.
There was also the sequel for See No Evil. Did that even have Kane in it?
Don't think so.
It was 2006 that their first See No Evil came out.
And then that was Buddy when he versus Luke Gallows.
See No Evil 2 came out in 2014, and Kane is in it.
Yeah, good for him.
Getting work in Hollywood.
Get that check, sis.
So On this episode of Raw, General Manager William Regal booked a tag team match between Orton and JBL against Cena and Triple H. If Orton and JBL would win, they would receive rematches against Triple H and Cena, respectively. And they would get to choose the extreme match of their choice. And if Cena and Triple H won, they would face each other for the WWE Championship, with Regal choosing the match type. After Orton and JBL won the tag team match, Orton announced that he and Triple H would compete in a last man standing match, and JBL would announce that they would have a first blood match. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Triple H and Randy Orton basically feuded for like 2 years straight here.
Did they?
Yeah, so it starts... I've got the stat here. Between No Mercy 2007 and Backlash 2009, Orton and Triple H had 9 matches against each other on pay-per-view.
Jesus.
Which is impressive because, as you'll see later, Randy Orton breaks his fucking collarbone at this pay-per-view.
Yeah,
So
he gets back up. Once he's healthy, just gets straight back in there with Triple H.
he misses every pay-per-view from the one after this until returning at the Royal Rumble. So basically, like... They face each other at over half the pay-per-views that they're healthy for.
It's impressive.
And also, I don't know if you remember, but No Mercy 2007, they wrestle each other twice.
Yeah.
So, it was a good era if you really want to see some former Evolution boys going at it. So the main feud on the SmackDown brand was between Edge and The Undertaker over the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. At Backlash, Undertaker defeated Edge to retain the World Heavyweight Championship by making Edge submission to his submission chokehold, and this is what it was listed as on Wikipedia, the Go-Go Platter.
Yeah, I saw that actually. I was like, what the hell is that? And I had to actually think it was the Hell's Gate.
Yeah, I was like, what is the Go-Go Platter? And it's the Hell's Gate. So on the May 2 edition of SmackDown, the general manager, Vicky Guerrero, stripped Undertaker of the title and banned his Hell's Gate chokehold to protect the SmackDown superstars. And at Judgment Day, Undertaker and Edge faced off in a match for the vacant World Heavyweight title, which Undertaker won by countout. However, Vicky Guerrero would announce that, as per WWE rules, championships could not change hands or be captured by disqualification or countout. On the May 23 episode of SmackDown, Vicky announced a TLC match between Edge and Undertaker at One Night Stand, with the stipulation added that if Undertaker should lose the match, he would have to leave the WWE. And why does it seem like everything we review involves The Undertaker?
Because I just want to get a good match out of him. Just one.
Well, we're in luck here, thankfully. It took like fucking 10 attempts. But he appears in everything. He appeared in the Nathan Jones one prominently. Just can't get away from him.
Finally, we got a good one out of him.
I think we should join the Talking Taker podcast at this point.
Hey, surely they just put over every match.
Nah, I'd like to think that the respected professionals over at the Talking Taker podcast, they take an analytical look and they can admit that some of his matches were the drizzling shits.
I mean, I don't know how they're going through them all. Why? Why are they going through them all?
To be fair, they're only going pay-per-view by pay-per-view, which wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, but then what happens once it's finished?
Do a new wrestler.
Hey, it'll never be finished at this rate.
Yeah, that's true.
You were the one that sent the screenshot, so you might know, Pricey. Do they just review like one pay-per-view match per show? Because some of his early ones would have been pretty quick.
From memory, yes. I think they've done 70 episodes, so...
That's how they're just like, oh, fuck, he faced off against some random jobber for 5 minutes. Oh, there we go, they're done. Pump an episode out.
Just crank them out every week.
Fuck, we should have done that.
Could have been easier.
So at this point in time, we have the 3 brands. So there's a main feud for ECW, and this was between CM Punk, Chavo Guerrero, Tommy Dreamer, John Morrison, and The Big Show. On the May 20 edition of ECW, General Manager Armando Estrada, yep, that's a thing that happened, announced a Fatal 4-Way Singapore Kane on a pole match for One Night Stand, where the winner would receive an ECW Championship match against Kane at Night of Champions. Later that night, the team of Guerrero and Morrison would defeat the team of Dreamer and Punk in a tag match. After the match, however, Big Show attacked all 4 superstars. Big Show then announced that he would also compete in the match at One Night Stand, making it a 5-man Singapore Kane match. And I can't believe they've got CM Punk involved in this garbage fucking feud here when 29 days later he would win his first world championship. It's just so weird to think.
Yeah, but you also, I feel like if you win the Money in the Bank, you're usually in like shitty little storylines and cash in.
Yeah, I feel that's pretty true in most cases, to be honest. Like, off the top of my head, I can't really think of any guys that got decent pushes while they had the briefcase. I think Edge got an okay push. But yeah.
A lot of times they'll lose like right before they cash in, just because like they don't need the rub of winning some match beforehand.
Yeah, they can just fucking job out until bang, Jack Swagger's the world champion. Well, Jack Swagger didn't even get a chance to do that. He cashed in on the first episode of SmackDown. He could.
They just strapped the fucking rockets to him.
Oh, jumping Jack Flash. Do you boys remember that fucking...
What?
You guys do not remember that, do you?
No.
Do you remember when Jack Swagger got like, this was after the brand split happened, they traded him to SmackDown?
No.
No.
Well, he got traded to SmackDown and he came out and like he attacked someone, did whatever, and then he got on the mic and he was like, "Woo, jumping Jack Flash."
No?
And he was like, "Oh, I've got a smoking hot wife." And everyone was like, "This is awful." And then he was released like a month later.
It was probably Clint Bobsky told him backstage that I think you should be jumping as well.
It's so weird. You need to go back and watch it.
We'll put that in the watch list.
One of the great moments of the brand split.
Damn. Missed out.
So moving on to the actual show here, and the number of dead people here, unless you guys can correct me again, is 1. Which is Umaga.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I don't think there was anyone else.
Yeah, he's definitely the only one on the card that's dead, and there wasn't really any managers or anything like that. Mike Adamle's still alive.
Is he?
Yeah, he's got fucking, like, his brain is fucked. He used to play in the NFL, and his brain is fucked from concussions, so...
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's why
it was taken.
That's why people, like, don't really make Mike Adamle jokes anymore, because they're like, that's probably why he was saying Jeff Harvey.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But that doesn't mean we can't make fun of his funny segment later on in the night.
Oh, I can't wait for that segment.
He said Jeff Harvey.
Ooh. So the show kicks off with a video package that basically just runs down all the major matches on the card, and then we see the set, and I need to get... You boys love a good set. What did you think of this one? Because I think it's actually pretty fucking cool. Especially for 2008.
I have that here. I think it's really cool that they did all the construction sort of things, like even the LED signs, like that was
Yeah,
cool.
the coat tire sign.
Yeah, like the road signs, and it's actually changing. Like I saw it and it said like One Night Stand, and I'm like, oh, that's a cool little touch. But they actually had it changing to say like Extreme Rules, like had little asterisks there. I was like, that's a nice little touch.
I reckon they pick them up from Ken Tire. Or...
Yeah, 100%.
I hope so.
Do you know what coat hire? Do you want to know a way to remember it?
Here we go.
Cool orangutan ate the egg sandwich. Do you remember those ads, Brent?
Yes, I remember that. I hate that you brought that up. I hated that ad so much.
Nice.
Oh, that's a very obscure reference.
One thing I thought as well with the set, during Undertaker's entrance, it's supposed to be pitch black, but they still had those construction signs going.
Oh, I didn't notice that. I kind of like skipped past his entrance. I'm like, this is gonna take ages.
I thought that was pretty funny. So it was all black except you could see those signs flashing around.
Hey, even the dead man needs to know that there's the extreme matches happening around here.
Gotta be aware.
I liked that they had a little like LED board like at the top of the set, and it would have like whatever match it was. So like for the stretcher match, it had stretcher match.
Yeah.
I dig that.
The only one I didn't notice was the first blood match one.
Yeah, I don't know if they had them for all of them, because I only noticed it in certain matches, like
Okay.
the stretcher match and stuff. So I don't know if they had it up the whole time, but they did use it a little bit. So we also see that JR and King are on commentary for Raw. They haven't moved JR to SmackDown just yet. I think that's like about to happen, probably in the draft. So
June 28.
yeah, fucking take a hike. Who's on SmackDown with Taz? No, Taz is on ECW.
No, it's Mick Foley and Michael Cole.
Oh yeah, they fucked Mick Foley off. Vince hated Mick on commentary.
Yeah.
He's actually not too bad on this show. I was dreading it when I saw that, because I remember him being bad, but he actually wasn't that bad.
He likes to let us know that he was at WrestleMania 22.
He did. He had that hardcore match with Edge. So we then get our first match of the night, which is Jeff Hardy defeating Umaga via pinfall in a Falls Count Anywhere match. It goes 9 minutes and 27 seconds, and Dave Meltzer gives it 2.25 stars.
No way! Don't do this, Jim! No! Oh my God! A swanton bomb! Did he hit him?
So here, the kind of rundown of the match, Umaga delivers a pretty brutal black hole slam, and it genuinely looks like Hardy's about to get fucked up in this. So shout out to Umaga, underrated big hoss. At one point, Jeff gets thrown into the crowd, and there's a bunch of empty seats with paper on them. I don't know if you guys took notice of that, but I was like, why are all these seats empty? Did you guys know that?
I did. It's probably just like, when some people, probably the spare seats for like any talent that wants to go sit on, not talent sit in the crowd, but they have spare seats.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I getcha.
So like when Bruce Pritchard said he'd go out and watch.
Makes sense. So Jeff would spray Umaga with a fire extinguisher, which forces him to run backstage. They go up some stairs, which leads to a pretty cool spot where Jeff slides down the handrail and delivers a clothesline to Umaga. They then fight outside of the arena and climb up the back of a truck. Hardy kicks Umaga off, who falls to the ground, and then Hardy climbs up to the top, delivers a swanton bomb from the top of the truck to the ground, and he gets the win. What did you guys think of the opener here at One Night Stand Extreme Rules?
I thought it was a really fun opener. I thought I probably wasn't expecting it to be very good, just because I wasn't sure if Umaga was good from memory. I haven't watched an Umaga match in a good while, but I thought it was just really fun. The stipulation worked really well, and there's a couple of spots that you mentioned, the handrail one, which was really, really cool, and then the swanton off the top, obviously. I thought it was pretty fun.
What about you, Nat?
I thought it was a really good opener. I thought Jeff looked like he was actually motivated, and he looked really good in the ring for once, and Umaga was good too, and I mean, it was a pretty good way to start the pay-per-view with a fucking swanton off a fucking truck. Yeah,
that's a pretty sick spot to kick off your extreme pay-per-view. We're in unanimous agreement here. I enjoyed this match. I feel like these two feuded a lot, and I can see why, because they have pretty good chemistry, and when they get to just fight all over the arena, utilize all the crazy shit that's around them, it just makes for a fun match. Like, this is, if you're kind of building your ideal opener, especially for a pay-per-view built around gimmick matches, this would be it for me, I reckon.
Pricey, do you reckon Michael Hayes booked this match? Hey, Jeff, you want to jump off that? You reckon you could?
I didn't know where you were going, but yes. Did you guys notice the mats that they used behind like the truck?
I was kind of like half-assedly like kind of looking out to see if there were like I could catch like some crash pads there, but I didn't catch them. No. Big
black mat, and they dragged it tried to drag it like behind the truck out of view, but it was sort of still there. But you have to look for it.
I was going to ask you, do you reckon this was a pre-tape? Because they could definitely have pre-taped that, but if they've got that in there, they must have definitely done it live.
Wasn't it?
You there, Nat? Oh, I've lost Nat.
Nat's been shot.
I was just going to say, I thought it was a pre-tape. I remember seeing shots of this and thinking, because it was during the day, but I didn't even click that it'd be in California and then start early, so it'd be during the day anyway.
Yeah.
But, I always thought it was a pre-tape, but yeah, like you said, after seeing the crash pads and all that, it's probably live. It would have been hard to do that because they went through the crowd and everything.
Yeah, I got the vibe that it was a pre-tape, but there's one point when they like cut from one cameraman to the other, so I was like, oh, that could kind of be like where they covered up the pre-tape, but yeah. It's definitely not a pre-tape if they've fucking got people desperately trying to get the crash pads out.
Is Nathan okay?
I don't know, he just...
Did I cut it out?
You did, yeah.
I thought it was you guys. What? My internet looks fine.
Hey, Discord tricks you sometimes. There'll be times where I speak and you're like, I didn't hear that, and it said fucking 3 bars, and then other times I'll be on 1 bar and you just hear me fucking clear as day.
Sorry. Just leave me out. Exclude me.
Did you have anything else to add?
If I did, I forgot it.
Well, I wanted to mention something. Jeff's got his banger theme here. I did not realise he got this theme before he went to SmackDown, but I'm glad he did because it's a fucking... It goes hard, this theme.
He needs it now. It'd be so much fun.
I don't understand why he isn't using it. He's using the Hardy Boys theme. I mean, he's not tagging with Matt at the moment, so give him his singles theme.
I always thought it made it better if, obviously, if Matt's not wrestling anymore, it makes it harder, but if Jeff has his own theme, when they come back together, it makes it, it feels like it's the Hardys, because it's
because you pop for the theme. Song.
Yeah.
So just give him his song, instead of his fucking generic fucking shit that he's got now. Also, speaking of Jeff Hardy circa 2008, here he has the rainbow hair, and JR would like to refer to him as the rainbow-haired warrior.
Yeah, he lets you know.
I think he needs to bring it back.
I know, right?
And yeah, my final note that I have here is that the end of this match isn't it doesn't have one of them little dots on the network. And
all of them are.
Yeah, so much on the network for this doesn't have the end or the start of a match marked. So it's
yeah, there's no start of the TLC match.
So fix your shit, WWE, and also fix your closed captions because I was gonna make a funny joke and then the closed captions didn't accurately represent what the commentators were saying. So get your shit together.
Jeez, sorry they're not going back and fixing him from 2008.
Hey, this is an important pay-per-view. This is where Undertaker retired for the first time.
First time? I thought that was it. I thought that's the end of his career.
Yeah, it was a bit of a different Undertaker. Different Undertaker and different Kane.
Okay, cool.
And the Inferno match is fake. Oh, boys. Do either of you have any final notes on the opener here?
It's just watching Jeff, how young he is here. I feel like it's obvious that he's a bit slower in the ring now, because when you watch him do the Whisper in the Wind, it takes him a good while to get up there to the top rope. But you watch him here and it's just fucking quick as a cat right up there. So
yeah, in 2008 he's been wrestling for almost 10 years in the WWE at this point, but he's still fucking smooth as butter in the ring.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to watch.
What about you, Nat?
No, I'm good.
Yeah, me too, thanks. So after the match, we cut to Michael Cole and Mick Foley on commentary for SmackDown. And for some reason, Mick Foley is giving us an in-depth look at the stretcher match. And he's really going into depth about the strategies and tactics of a stretcher match. And it's kind of weird. He also says that it might be the most physically taxing match in WWE. So, okay, Mick, whatever you say. I thought this was an awful segment. Did either of you enjoy this? I feel like you guys would have skipped past it.
I mean, there's literally a match where you bury your opponent alive, or you burn your opponent on fire.
Or the Hell in a Cell match where you
or the first
lost
blood
your teeth
match.
and shit.
Mick literally almost fucking ended his career in a Hell in a Cell match, but this is taxing because you're on a stretcher.
It's definitely the match where you push him on a stretcher.
Mick Foley was on fire in the hardcore match of WrestleMania 22 based on Edge.
Yeah, this wasn't really well thought out by Mick, the line from him. Arguably even worse, though, we follow this up with a poll that you can text in, and it's sponsored by Verizon or fucking Cricket Wireless or something we don't have over here. And you can say who you think will win the stretcher match. So we'll check in a little bit later on to see who the fans, the WWE Universe, think will win. Before we move on, were either of you guys expecting this poll to be done through Tout?
No, but now that you mention it.
When they brought it up, I was like, is it going to be some Tout-related thing?
It's 2012.
Yeah, it's a bit later on. So next up, we're introduced to Taz, or the Taz, as Mike Adamle calls him. And we get a recap of the past couple of weeks on ECW, which leads into the next match here, which is the Big Show defeating CM Punk, Chavo Guerrero, John Morrison, and Tommy Dreamer via pinfall in a 5-way Singapore cane on a pole match to decide the number one contender for the ECW Championship. It goes 8 minutes and 35 seconds, gets 2.5 stars from Meltzer.
Get out of the ring!
Powerless to do anything except to walk right into it.
Good God, that was nasty!
And just remember, that's it.
And so this Singapore cane on a pole match is done a little bit differently. If you watch the classic Singapore cane at a pole match between Carlito and Sandman at the 2007 Great American Bash, you'll notice there's only one Singapore cane, but here each ring post has a Singapore cane. So yeah, it's just a bit different, you know. Tactics change up here.
Shit. Couldn't do any homework watching it, could they?
I don't know. They sat down to watch the match between Carlito and Sandman. It's not going to help here. So Chavo Guerrero is accompanied to the ring by Bam Nealy, and it's just my regular reminder that Bam Nealy existed. He was like the 2008 version of Luther Reigns.
Oh, bring back Luther Reigns, man. He was good.
So Tommy Dreamer is wearing white pants here for some reason. Shout out Tommy. I never saw you wear white pants, but good for you trying something new. He also has over 60 matches of Singapore cane experience, according to Mick Foley. Oh no, Taz, sorry. I don't know where he got those figures from. I really question Taz's authority on that. But for the match itself, the four smaller guys all beat down Big Show, and then they all grab Singapore canes immediately. They take turns beating him down and send him out of the ring. Chavo and Punk then fight to the commentary tables, and Chavo swings for Punk, but he moves and hits some football man who was sitting in the front row and was introduced earlier. I didn't recognise him, so didn't take note of it. Punk then gives Mr. Football Man the cane, and he hits Chavo with it. The Miz then runs out and tries to attack the Big Show, but gets stopped with ease. Show then tries to hit him with the steps, but John Morrison stops him, which results in him having his head bounce off the steel steps, and he gets a pretty serious cut over his left eye. But this just seems to anger the Big Show. He brings out a bin full of canes, which defeats the purpose of this match. He gives Dreamer a cane shot to the head to get the win. What did you guys think of the Singapore cane on a paddle on a pole match?
Ooh, Chavo.
Dun, dun, dun. And doing the thing with his hands.
Oh,
his poncho.
Back. He was great. Bring Chavo back, man.
Underrated ECW champion.
For what the match was, I didn't think it was that bad. I have here, if you like to watch matches where people get hit with Singapore canes, just watch this one.
Hey, you could put this match in 2018, fit right in. They love Singapore canes.
Yeah, Asuka could have been in it. But yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. It's extreme, bro. So hit people with things.
What do you think, Nat?
It's funny that you mentioned Tommy Dreamer's Singapore cane experience. He literally looked the worst at swinging a Singapore cane.
You reckon? I didn't take too much notice of that. What about John Morrison? Oh, he's got that parkour experience.
John Morrison lays him in. They all lay him in except Tommy Dreamer.
Maybe he knows that he's too good with weapons, so he really brought it back because he's like, I don't want to fuck these guys up.
But Big Show was going fucking hard on people.
Yeah, Big Show was he trying to teach these kids a lesson, or?
I don't know why he was so motivated, but he was motivated in this match. That's good for him.
He thought he had another ECW main event run coming up.
Oh, great.
Personally, I thought this match was actually really fucking good. I went into this thinking like, oh my god, this is going to be fuck garbage. And I enjoyed it. Like, there's a lot of enjoyable spots. It's stiff as fuck, and I thought it was a good kind of car crash match. It's, not a smooth, technical affair, but something cool about just seeing five dudes wail on each other with some bamboo sticks. I think we got to point out that fucking Big Show getting colour here, I feel like it makes the finish of this match.
Yeah.
It adds to it a lot.
Like, him just got... Because, obviously before that, they had already booked for Big Show to get the bin of canes out and to just go nuts. But with the cut over his eye and all the blood, it makes him just, it adds to it so much more.
Yeah, it made him look like he just went fucking nuts just for seeing the blood. It looked pretty cool.
Like, you could be mistaken for thinking, that was actually planned out, which it obviously wasn't, because dude was missing, a fucking full chunk out of his face. Yeah.
They definitely would. The next match was a first blood match. There's no way they would have booked for someone else to get colour the match before.
Yeah. Just another thing I like to nitpick on, but Punk's Money in the Bank briefcase here just sucks. He has a tiny little logo in the middle and nothing cool. So,
wow.
Another way that the WWE was holding him back.
I do my man CM Punk dirty like that.
I also wanted to say that Big Show is apparently a face here, but he just seems like an asshole, especially when they do the recap and the way he inserts himself in the match. I don't know if I can support that. I think I might have to cheer for Johnny Don't Call Me Monday Nitro.
Going back to when Adamle came onto the screen, I saw Mike Adamle and I went, oh fuck, here we go. And then Bam Nealy came out and I'm like, fuck, this is like an all-star game. They're all out in force here.
They're playing the classics here.
Only the best for One Night Stand.
Speaking of Adamle, I was, much like Mick Foley, I was dreading him on commentary. It wasn't too bad here.
I mean, he said at one point, I have this quote down, I don't remember who it was, but he said someone is spanking Punk like he's a schoolboy. Which I thought, that's kind of scared me. And then I couldn't look at everyone the same after that comment. Like, they were spanking each other. This is weird.
Yeah, you're like, I can't watch wrestling anymore.
I've quit.
But yeah, I think that basically does it for my notes on this match. Do you guys have any final notes here?
Well, you said gimmick on a pole matches suck. What about gimmicks in a ladder match?
Oh man, gimmick on a pole matches generally suck. I think this is probably the best one I've ever seen. But gimmick being strung over the ring that you need to get with a ladder.
Yeah, what about guitar ladder matches?
That was, I think the Elias Bobby Lashley match is the worst of those because you don't even go up there, grab it, and get to use it as a weapon. You just win the match.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Like, I don't know what the point was. What would have the point have been of Bobby Lashley grabbing the guitar?
But we got to see Bobby Lashley do his world famous pose.
His favourite pose. Hit him with that favourite pose.
Hit him with that pose, big man. I'm so glad I rocked up like at least halfway through that match to your place, Brandon. Could not care less.
You got to see Leo Rush go over as well.
I missed the cruiserweights, which I'm fucking.
Hey, they did it. They did it well. They had Elias go over, but Leo Rush hit him with the guitar.
Yeah, they got their heat back.
And we got to see Bobby Lashley's ass, so we all win.
Exactly.
Sends the fans home happy.
Everyone left after the pre-show.
So moving on, after the match we cut to Todd Grisham, who's interviewing Vince McMahon in a very dimly lit office. He asks Vince about his announcement of McMahon's $1 Million Mania, and Vince confirms that he's actually doing it. He says that WWE employees are unfortunately not eligible, which disappoints Todd Grisham, and then Ron Simmons comes in and says, damn.
I wish the segment went that short.
Yeah, for something that's literally Vince naming the segment, saying that yes, it's happening, and that WWE employees can't be in it, it goes for a long time. I guess you gotta pad your pay-per-view out any way you can.
Very true.
So this leads into our next match, which is John Cena defeating John Bradshaw Layfield in a First Blood match. It goes 14 minutes and 30 seconds, and Meltzer gives it 2 3/4 stars.
And bring blood wherever it strikes. Oh! Speaking of striking, JBL looking to whip Cena like an animal. And now, over Cena. Use it. Oh, JBL really stopped it.
And so in the match, we kick it off by JBL taking off a turnbuckle pad, and then Cena responds with the exact same thing. They basically slam each other's heads off of things for 14 minutes until JBL reveals he had a concealed chain in his towel. He uses it on Cena's ribs and attempts to hit him in the head, but Cena reverses and hits an FU. Cena then, though, gets his arms trapped in the ropes, and JBL grabs out a fucking whip. So, that's alright. Cena then low blows him, though, just as he's about to get the shit whipped out of him, and he does an STFU with the chain, which immediately makes JBL bleed from the mouth. Cena then celebrates with the football man. What did you guys think of the First Blood match here? I feel like this is probably the last First Blood match that's the WWE have held.
We didn't make mention of the football dude in the last match.
No, they did.
No, I mentioned it.
Yeah, but like I just want to bring up like what's with Punk just like dapping him up and all that. That was a bit weird.
They really like this football guy, and I follow football, and I don't even know who that dude was.
Yeah,
WWE signing all the indie talent.
Oh, they're taking away all the good talent, even from the NFL.
They took LeBron and now they're taking that guy.
Jeez.
I'll just like to confirm John Cena and JBL last First Blood match. There hasn't been one in 10 years.
Shit, there you go. I don't ever remember this match happening. I barely remember this feud. I have JBL is poopy here because that's the only thing I really remember about this happening. But overall for the match, I didn't care for it at all.
What about you, Nat?
Hated it. Don't even remember it.
You don't even remember it now?
It was a boring match.
Yeah, I'm 100% with you there. This match is really boring, and they spend the whole time doing like shots to the head, and it's not. None of the spots that they do is interesting, and the match goes way too long. It only goes 14 minutes, but it feels like it goes like 24 minutes. Just not a fan of whatever the fuck this was. JBL in 2008 wrestling John Cena is you can have that back, WWE. I don't want it.
Wait, Nat, what did you think of John Cena's 8-bit shirt?
I mean, it happened.
I like it.
Yeah,
It's alright, but I feel like he had it too long.
I don't
he
really remember it that vaguely.
I feel like he did have it for a while, didn't he? Did he have it? No, he had it till like around about WrestleMania 25, and then he changed it for a different one, which was actually pretty cool as well.
He had the "You Can't See Me," the AWA shirt.
Yeah. As far as I can tell, out of the major promotions, so like Impact, Ring of Honor, WWE, and all that, I think this was the last First Blood match that anyone's had. So that's pretty historic when you look at it that way.
Yeah, it's funny because that was in my trivia. You cunt.
Well, does your trivia have anything about X-Pac defeating Chris Jericho on WWF Raw War on September 25, 2000 in a First Blood match?
No.
That was First Blood IV. Well, Chris Jericho had a couple. That boy just loves getting colour. So yeah, I really can't believe that they had a First Blood match in 2008. But shout out to JBL wearing gloves and elbow pads for this match, so there was less room for him to bleed. That's psychology.
It happened.
Hey, it's smart. You might throw one of those punches, you might get a little nick, and then you lose.
Just scratch him.
I literally have that in my notes here. This is a word for word. First Blood matches make no sense because you can just scratch them a little bit and win. I don't know if either of you noticed this, but why is there a yellow cereal box in the corner that Cena was standing in at the start of the match?
Yeah, it's there for like all the match.
What was that? Where did it come from?
It's booty.
Booty pebbles.
I was like, all right, is this going to come into play later on? And it never did. Did either of you think that the referee kind of just like grabbing JBL's head and like searching through his hair for cuts looked real creepy and weird?
Yeah, they just want to get over and done with.
He's like full getting in his hair and he's just like, checking for head lice.
Like, you get the magnifying glass out.
It's up there with Mike Chioda getting on the microphone and keep asking the competitors if they wanted to quit in that I Quit match the other year.
Do you give up?
No.
Do you quit?
No. I think, yeah. Oh, my only final note is that JBL says that he wants his torch back, so I just assumed that they're feuding over a stolen flashlight in this feud.
I mean, what do you think about the Just Bleed Loser sign in the crowd?
That was very clever, and I'm glad that they pointed it out on commentary.
I've also got here hitting someone in the head with a microphone. Makes a great sound. Perfect.
I appreciate that they refuse to turn the microphones off.
Nah, it makes the cool sound, man.
Oh, it is a cool sound. Do either of you have any notes on this match? It's very forgettable.
No, that's it for me.
Nope.
The less said, the better.
Exactly.
So we cut backstage after the match, and we see Batista staring off into the distance. Randy Orton then comes in to wish him good luck, and Batista asks him what he wants. Orton then says there's a chance that they could be drafted to the same show, and if that happens, they should start a new evolution where they can be the leaders instead of Triple H. But then Batista doesn't say anything, he just kind of tells him to fuck off with his eyes, so... The Animal's really, really locked in on this stretcher match, the most dangerous match in all of WWE.
Man, I read that as Batista tells him to fuck with his eyes.
Hey, mate, you never know. Batista could swing both ways. I don't know what he does behind closed doors. So after this, they plug the text poll again, and we then get Beth Phoenix defeating Molina in an I Quit match, which goes 9 minutes and 14 seconds, which is a marathon match in this era for the women. Meltzer gives it 2.25 stars.
Oh my gosh! Molina's body absolutely contorted.
So we've got, obviously, close personal friend of the podcast, Beth Phoenix here. And as Pricey mentioned earlier, we flash back to Judgment Day, which was 2 fucking weeks ago. And she's kind of given like a torture rack type thing to Molina. And we found out that it was Mickie James. So that solved the mystery that had us stumped earlier today.
Yep, that's our women's champion.
Yeah, I'm not sure why the women's champion isn't on the card, but sure. So during Molina's entrance, one of the photographers that she has falls over, and they replay it because Vince had to be laughing his ass off backstage. Like, this was a Titus falling over in the Greatest Royal Rumble moment for him.
Just see that.
You found his ass, pal. But yeah, that's basically the only notable thing in this match. Beth Phoenix wins with some fucking submission move that stretches Molina's back real weird. And yeah, what did you think of the first ever women's I Quit match?
Could have just had a submission match.
Yeah. Thank you.
I mean, I was hoping you'd go in more depth because I've already forgotten what the finish was.
It's so like, I don't know, like she kind of like bends. It's like I can't name the move, but she's like pulling Molina backwards, like by her head, and she's on her knees.
Yeah, I've just remembered it now.
Yeah,
got you.
I thought, did they ever have a match where they like bent Molina around a pole or something?
Probably.
Because I remember that being a thing, and I thought that was the finish for this. And when it was what we got, I was like, okay.
I feel like I've seen that before.
Yeah. When you say like it could have just been a submission match, it 100% could have. It was literally just them taking turns to do submission moves.
I mean, I have here, like nowadays they'd probably get an extra 5 to 10 minutes out of like a women's match like this. And there'd also be, like the in-ring quality would be better, obviously. And they'd be able to use weapons and stuff like that for an I Quit match. Like it didn't feel like an I Quit match.
Yeah, this was like during the time where I'm pretty sure Vince was like, women aren't allowed to use weapons. Which kind of makes an I Quit match pointless. Like, the only real, like, thing that makes this I Quit match, like, worth watching is that Molina is flexible.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if she isn't, like, ridiculously flexible, then, like, imagine if she was just wrestling Mickie James and just lock on a submission and she loses, and it's just like, oh, that was a match that happened.
That's it. Just one quick note. Beth Phoenix, her gear on the back of it had the initials BP, and it was that moment that I realised I could use her gear if I wanted to. So I might DM her, close personal friend Beth Phoenix, and be like, "Oh, yeah, I'm wrestling this weekend in my local indie show. Can I borrow your gear?"
Well, as we all know, Beth Phoenix is married to Edge, aka Adam Copeland, and she took his last name, so she's Beth Copeland. So she technically doesn't need BP gear anymore, so you can just have it.
Thank you, Beth. I appreciate it. I'll get in contact shortly.
When that NXT Australia happens, you can wrestle in that gear.
Phoenix isn't her shoot last name.
Oh, cop that, Brown.
Is it?
I'm sure it's not.
Hey man, they're all marks that listen to this. They don't know.
I'm gonna have to look it up now. I'm going to have to actually click on her fucking page because it's updated her shoot name to being Elizabeth Copeland. God damn it. Jesus Christ, her last name was like Koscianski. So no wonder she went by Phoenix.
Can't believe she'd steal my initials.
She's been married twice, man.
No, who hasn't?
You know what they say, second time's the charm.
That's it.
So my only notes on this match was I couldn't believe there was nobody on commentary screaming about how these two were making history. I needed Michael Cole there just being like hashtag women's revolution. But,
have they had an I Quit match since, like in the last couple of years?
I can look it up. I think
I feel like
There's an Orton and Cena one.
no, I mean like a women's one.
Oh,
I
women's.
think Sasha and Charlotte had one.
I thought they did as well.
I'm pretty
like
sure they did.
They better have shown some damn respect to Beth Phoenix and Molina and said that this was the first one.
Actually, I'm looking here, and I don't think they have. So since Beth Phoenix and Molina, there has been an I Quit match between Jeff and Matt Hardy, John Cena and Randy Orton at Breaking Point, shout out to that, John Cena and Batista at Over the Limit, and then a year later at Over the Limit, John Cena and The Miz had one. Alberto Del Rio and Jack Swagger had one, John Cena and Rusev, and then Cedric Alexander and Noam Dar.
Oh, good one too.
Yeah, I could have sworn that they had one.
Well, maybe that's why they're doing it. They don't want to do that match because it's already been done.
Honestly, that would not surprise me. If you want some trivia as well, Rusev did not say I quit. His valet/manager Lana says he quit.
Yeah, I remember that.
So it's just, the more you know. My final notes are these gals scream a lot, and this match isn't even for a belt or anything. Yeah, that's all I had.
Grudge match.
It literally, I was telling Pricey earlier, Nat, but it literally took me until Beth Phoenix was celebrating her win on the ramp to be like, she doesn't have a belt. Like, this is enough for the championship. And then, it's set off almost 24 hours of me being like, who the fuck was the champion at this time? But yeah, either of you got any notes on this match?
No.
Yet.
Well, moving on, we're about to find out who the women's champion is, although they don't tell you on the show. But so after the match, Cena is cranking it to the girl-on-girl submissions in the doctor's office. He's real horny. And then Mickie James comes in and she checks on him. She asks if she can practice some submissions on him tonight. But then Mike Adamle comes out of the bathroom and ruins the moment because he just took a big sloppy shit in there. And then he's like, oh, yeah, you two are a great couple. And Mickie James, it's always the awkward thing where, like, Tina's like, oh, thanks. And Mickie James is like, oh, we're not a couple. And then he gives Cena some Viagra.
Totally true.
Which is, and I took a screenshot of it here. Mike Adamle has a great line. I'll just get it up so I can get it word for word because it's a comedy masterpiece here. He says... he gives the Viagra to him and he goes, and it's not because you need it. Remember that. It's because you want it. That segment kind of changed me on Mike Adamle. I didn't remember him doing wacky segments like this, but this is actually probably one of my favourite moments of the pay-per-view.
It's very funny. Very good stuff.
You got any notes on the this segment here?
I mean, I didn't know Mickie and Cena were a thing ever on TV.
Yeah, I forgot that Mickie and Cena were like a on-screen couple. But yeah, that they were on-screen and off-screen couple. So shout out to Mickie James and John Cena. Cena just has all of these ex-girlfriends / fiancés over the locker rooms. Maybe that's why he doesn't want to come back.
Hey, Mickie James won. She's with bloody Nick Aldis.
Is she really?
They're married. They have kids.
I didn't even know that. Shout out to Nick Aldis.
What's John Cena doing? Single.
What do you reckon Nick Aldis thinks of Mickie James' singing career?
Probably cricket.
He's probably like, oh, that's nice, honey. I'm going to go wrestle now.
I'm the NWA World's Champion. So.
So moving on from that just 10 out of 10 knock it out of the park segment, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. We finally find out that the fans think Shawn Michaels will win the stretcher match.
Oh,
But the fans are
let's see.
fucking dumbasses because it's Batista who defeats Shawn Michaels in a stretcher match.
boo.
It goes 17 minutes on the dot, apparently, and it gets 3.5 stars from Big Daddy Dave Meltzer.
No. This is overkill, folks. And Batista with the final exclamation point, and mercifully, this is over.
So in this match, at one point late in the match, Chris Jericho runs out to offer moral support to Shawn. This angers Batista, who delivers another Batista bomb to him. Batista is then about to wheel Shawn over the line, but Jericho runs out for moral support again, which stops Batista. This again angers Batista, who grabs the steel steps and delivers a spinebuster on them before finally winning the most grueling match in WWE history. What did you guys think of this absolutely brutal contest?
This is the best stretcher match I've ever seen. Just about.
Honestly, I couldn't name another stretcher match besides this, and I think Randy and Shane McMahon had one.
I think Brock and
RVD.
Big Show had one, didn't they?
Randy and RVD
Randy and RVD, yes, you're correct.
from the year before.
That's when RVD leaves WWE.
Oh, that's what he thought of these fucking stretcher matches. He's like, I'm out of here, man. He put me in this. Thinking back on this storyline, it just confuses the hell out of me. I don't know what happened. I don't remember watching it as a kid very closely.
I've kind of pieced it together from what they said in the broadcast. So Shawn ends Ric Flair's career, and Shawn's on Raw and Batista's on SmackDown, and at some point they get together and Batista's like, hey man, why didn't you just fucking lay down for Flair so he could continue his career? And Shawn's like, I'll do anything to win, I'm too competitive. So then they have their match at Backlash,
Right.
and he gets a knee injury and people think it's real and he wins the match. And then Chris Jericho, I never remembered Chris Jericho being supportive.
He was the ref.
He was the ref for some reason that I forget.
And that's why he was angry at Shawn.
It's so... Jericho is so weird in this feud. Like, I remember on the highlight reel, he was doing like frame-by-frame footage of like him like hurting his knee. And he's like, you can see there. See, he actually hurts his knee. I'm like, okay, Chris.
But then, so after this match, that's when they start the Jericho-Michaels feud, right?
Yeah. So basically what happens is they have that, and Jericho believes that Shawn, he's white meat babyface, but Shawn is like, nah, bro, I was faking the injury, and then he super kicks him. And I saw someone, like, I was looking up, like, trying to find interesting notes about this pay-per-view, and, like, I saw, like, a little interesting thing about how every time Jericho comes out, it just makes Batista more angry and hit him more. Like, he does the Batista bomb and then he does the spinebuster on the steps. So, like, you can kind of see that Jericho is going to turn heel on him. He's, like, going out there to goad Batista into fucking him up, which actually is pretty good. Pretty good little story there. They're actually telling some decent stories in fucking 2008 WWE, which is surprising me.
Well, that's yeah. And then Jericho does the barbershop windows him.
He does, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, sort of makes sense now, but still.
Yeah, and that also explains why the SmackDown commentators were doing this match, because I was like, what the fuck? What? Shawn is a Raw guy. And I'm like, oh, Batista is on SmackDown at this point.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out during this, but now that you've said that, it makes a bit more sense.
He literally gets traded like a week from now, though, so he's basically a Raw dude.
Bit of a precursor.
But yeah, what was your thoughts on the match, Pricey?
I didn't hate it. I think it's, again, like over the last couple of shows, we've sort of seen matches that work, a Buried Alive match and things like that. I think a stretcher match is similar. I don't know, just wheeling them across the line just seems like a weird finish. So, yeah, I think the match type's hard, but I thought, for what it was, they did a pretty good job.
What did you think, Nat?
Not sure what you guys are seeing, but I was very bored in this match. It was Bautista.
Ooh, Blue-tista.
I'll be honest, I don't remember anything from this match, really. I thought it was just very average. I think it's a weird gimmick to work, if I'm honest.
It's definitely weird to work.
I mean, I guess it sets up... Like, the story's good and it sets up the Michaels Jericho stuff, which is really good. But I don't know. I just sometimes I just do not give a fuck about Batista.
You're the one that wants him back.
I know, but like I want like 2005 Batista.
I actually kind of feel you on that, Nat Batista. I feel like he was very hit and miss with me. Like sometimes I'd be like, I'm really into this, and other times I'd be like, yeah, I don't really care about you.
Batista leading up to him winning the World Heavyweight title 2005, perfect. Him after, up until he moved to SmackDown, is perfect. And after that's a bit hit and miss. Then there's the weird stuff where he was teaming with Ray.
Yeah, that was kind of weird.
And then he was boring when he was facing Cena. And then they had that shitty match with Umaga at WrestleMania.
Wait, what?
Remember the
WrestleMania 24.
Yeah, 24.
Oh my god, I have completely blanked that from my memory.
Exactly.
Wow, that was a thing.
I'm gonna let you know on a secret, Nat.
Oh, what's the secret?
2005 Batista's not coming back in 2019.
How do you know?
He's not up there, Nat.
He's down there.
In Hollywood.
He's down there. Is he gonna give a thumbs down?
Oh, bang.
He's gonna do his machine gun taunt.
I've changed my mind. Give me Orton Batista next year, but Orton cuts the Eddie promo, but does the thumbs up, thumbs down.
I'm telling you, Batista versus Triple H is happening at WrestleMania.
Oh, I want to vomit.
Well, I mean, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is probably not happening anymore, so go for it, Batista.
It's literally the only match he wants to do, and bloody Triple H has all this time to recover from his injuries up until bloody April.
He's got ages to juice.
He's got ages, and then Batista can come in do his fireworks.
Wouldn't you rather Batista put over someone young, like
Darren Young?
Yeah,
like AJ Styles, who's 39.
No, like Braun or someone like that.
Lars Sullivan.
Nah.
Oh my god, if he fucking wrestles Lars Sullivan, I'll
Hoss
shit
fight.
you. Fuck that noise.
Nah, Braun Strowman sucks, and that's why he's not going to win the Universal title at Royal Rumble.
Brock Lesnar's unbeatable, man.
That's why it's going to be The Rock wins the Royal Rumble, and it's Rock of Brock.
Incorrect. Drew McIntyre's winning the Rumble, and he's going to finally dethrone Brock Lesnar at Mania.
Who's the fucking face?
You guys are stupid.
Drew is going to be the face, obviously.
I hate Drew.
Wow.
Wow.
No, like as a heel, he's a good wrestler.
He's a heel.
He's a bad guy. I don't like him. He's baddie.
Bloody baddie. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, boys, but R-Truth's coming at number 30. He's winning the Royal.
R-Truth is not going to come out in the men's Rumble at number 30. He's going to come out in the women's one.
He's going to come out number 30 in the women's one accident, and then, buddy, they disqualify him, so it'll be someone good at number 30.
He's gonna eliminate Carmella finally, so he can get his US title shot. That's why Shinsuke's been off TV for so long.
Getting sidetracked, boys.
Oh yeah. My thoughts on the match. Unlike Nat, I liked this match. I didn't think it was anything special. I just think it's a decent match. I liked how kind of brutal and hard hitting it was. I think mostly what makes it an enjoyable match for me is the kind of story stuff with the two men in the ring and then Jericho popping up at the end. I think just in general, Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 24 to WrestleMania 25, he has a lot of pretty good storylines going on, which I'd kind of forgotten, but watching this pay-per-view kind of reminded me, it's like, yeah, he has the Ric Flair feud into this Batista feud into Jericho, basically into Undertaker at Mania, so shout out to Shawn doing some great work in 2008.
Prime. Oi, do you reckon Chris Jericho got his outfit from Ed Hardy?
Oh man, Jericho is the biggest fucking loser. Like, the way he would dress in this era, it's like, dude, you're such a tosser. And then now when he's wearing his fucking clown outfit, like, he's just such a loser. He thinks he's a rock star, but you're not, Chris.
He's a cock star.
Yeah, hell yeah. Snatch that wig, sis. Sip that tea. Basically all my notes have been covered off already. I was surprised that this was an inter-promotional match, like I mentioned, and that this feud is really weird. The only other thing I have to say is that at some point in the match, Shawn almost hits a fucking infant at ringside with the steel steps. And, like, when I say infant, I'm talking like this baby was fresh out the womb, like in one of those like pouch harness things on the mother.
They have headphones on.
I don't think so. I didn't really see it like up close, but yeah, like the mother was sitting ringside with the baby, and as Shawn gets real close to just killing that kid.
I appreciate it, like sporting events and stuff like that. If a athlete brings like their baby, the wife will have like headphones on the kid.
When was it Mike Kanellis at Evolution had him and Maria's kid was there.
That's it. Just good stuff. Good stuff.
Shout out to that family.
Dad of the year, Mike Kanellis.
He really is. His posts like of him and his is it daughter? I think
Yeah,
it is.
I have a daughter.
Always pop up on my Twitter. I was like, oh, what a sweetheart. Somebody fucking
good guy, man.
give him a push.
Yeah. Why don't they, man?
Because he's on 205.
Yeah, 205's the hottest. Did you hear the chance they had on the pre-show, man? It's the hottest thing going.
Yeah, did you watch that, Nat?
Watch the ending.
They got 205 live chants. They were chanting 205 near the start. And the crowd were actually into it. Which
That's
was
good.
Weird, especially because it was pre-show. But yeah, do we have any final notes on the stretcher match?
No.
I just quickly point out that for this match, I thought Mick Foley was good on commentary.
He really put over that this was the most dangerous match in all of WWE history.
I thought it was different hearing him on commentary, but I didn't hate it.
Yeah, I don't think Mick Foley is that bad overall on this pay-per-view. In my mind, I remember him being awful. I'm like, why is Mick Foley on commentary? But yeah, this night he was actually pretty good. So I really couldn't fault him for anything except for the shitty promo that they made him cut earlier on.
They only had 2 matches, didn't they? SmackDown.
Ooh, 3 maybe? Or is it just 2?
I reckon it's just the world title match in this.
It is. Wow, they have to wait ages to actually get on commentary.
Which is pretty funny.
It makes sense why they gave this interpromotional match to SmackDown, because otherwise they have literally 1 match on the card. Wow. So we move on here and we go straight into Triple H, who is the defending WWE champion, defeating Randy Orton in a last man standing match to retain his title. It goes only 13 minutes and 16 seconds, and Meltzer didn't rate this match, which both of those things would seem a little weird at first glance, but they'll soon make sense.
It's getting them slower and slower. Look out here. And Orton, RKO. Good grief. God. Orton of the RKO crashed and burned over the top. Orton went over the top very awkwardly. May have hit those steps. Orton again holding that left arm. I think, if I'm not mistaken, he just said he broke his collarbone.
So, coincidentally, Triple H is actually working on Orton's left shoulder during this match. Orton would then hit a hanging DDT off the announce table. He exposes the concrete floor at ringside, which I assume was going to be used at some point, but doesn't get used here. Orton grabs an extension cord and chokes Triple H with it. Orton then tries to hit an RKO, but Triple H throws him over the top rope, and he lands awfully. It's just fucking absolutely brutal. And you can actually on the broadcast, you can see him tell Mike Chioda that he thinks he broke his collarbone. And so he's just down for the count here. Mike Chioda starts counting, and Triple H awkwardly breaks the count and slams him into the barricade to buy some time. He then does the same thing again until he decides he's going to grab the sledgehammer, hit Orton with it, and leave him down for the win. And yeah, Triple H kind of awkwardly stares off into the distance in the ring to celebrate.
That was so weird.
Yeah, he must have been really shook, because for Triple H to just be fucking staring off into the distance for a little bit until he's like, oh yeah, I won. I probably should do something. Yeah. So, what did you guys think of this match?
It's sort of hard to give an opinion of it. It was obviously a bit shorter than they planned, and it sucks to see him go down because I was intrigued to see how it would finish, and I guess we'll never know how it was supposed to play out, but you can't really judge the match on what we got, I don't think.
Exactly. You never know. It might have been 5 stars.
Could have been.
Yeah, that's that's basically my thoughts on it.
That's why Meltzer doesn't rate it, because you never know. Could have been 5 stars.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to say about this. before Randy gets injured, this is definitely a match that happened at the 2008 One Night Stand Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Like, I was not enjoying it that much. And like you said, maybe this match would have gotten better without Randy getting injured, but we'll never know. But before that, I didn't really dig it too much.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, it was early stages of the match. Like, it obviously, I think they would have picked up a gear or two, in the later stages. So, it's sort of hard. You can't really watch half a match and sort of judge whether or not it's good or not. So,
that being said, of all the match types to be involved in with someone like snapping their fucking collarbone and having to end it prematurely, this is probably the best one for it. Because the finish they go into isn't like, it's not that bad compared to like if, say, they were just having a singles match and he ended up breaking his collarbone. Like, Triple H would just have to roll him up and do something real awkward. He's obviously not going to be able to pedigree him, so...
Yeah, exactly.
I actually don't mind the finish that they go for here.
It's the best they could have done.
Yeah.
Considering the situation, yeah.
So most of my... I didn't have many notes here, but my notes were basically about how much pain Orton is in here. And also, just how the fuck did they think Randy would take that bump safely? Like, best case scenario, he knocks himself out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what they were planning for him, just to take a flat back on the outside. That's a pretty big drop.
And, like, you're trying to, like, bank on Triple H being able to throw him out of the ring perfectly. As soon as he went for him, like, holy shit. Like, you're not throwing Rey Mysterio out there, bro.
There was something on the outside as well. It was like the steel steps.
The steel steps were there, and when he first did it, like it didn't connect with me. Like that, this was gonna be the spot where he like lands awkwardly. I'm like, holy shit, this dude's gonna land on the fucking steps. And then I was like, oh, phew, he missed it, and then no, he snapped his collarbone. My only other real note here is that at one point Orton throws the steps into the ring, and it kind of rips the ring canvas. So I guess karma got him in the end. The ring's sacred, man. You can't be ripping it up.
What do you say? Awesome Kong got him in the end.
It took me like a second to really register what the fuck you were talking about.
For all the Karma fans out there.
Hey, she was my favorite WWE diva that was in the company for about a month.
She good.
She had a baby. And now she's on Glow.
Oh, she's killing it, actually. Good for her.
You know who else is on Glow? Alex Riley.
Hey.
Say it to his face.
And Chavo.
Chavo's the stunt dude. Shout out to Chavo just having a successful post-wrestling career.
Exactly.
There's so many wrestlers in there because Chavo, Carlito plays a pretty big role in both seasons.
John Morrison.
Oh, yeah, Jomo.
Isn't Brodus Clay in it?
Yes.
Yeah, he was. I think in the first season.
Mm.
Shout out to them just getting a bunch of actual wrestling talent.
Also, Joey Ryan's in it, isn't he?
I think he is.
I think he is, from memory.
Yeah, I vaguely remember Joey Ryan being in it. Does he? I think he wrestles Alex Riley.
Can't believe we got onto Glow Talk. I don't know how that's fun.
Yeah, I can't believe this is the first time we've brought up Glow on the podcast. It's taken us 16 episodes.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I haven't seen the second season.
Wow.
You gotta watch it, man.
Okay.
You gotta see what happens to Liberty Bell.
Buddy, they try to pin her and she kicks out at 3, brother.
Going into business for herself. So yeah, any final notes on this match that doesn't really get to reach its full potential?
That's it.
Nah.
Well, after the match, we cut to an ad for WWE Shop Zone, and then when we come back, Orton's getting attended by the trainers and medical staff, and he then gets up and walks out under his own power, which is actually pretty fucking... Like, I was impressed by that. He was clearly not a pain. But then the crowd cheers him as he kind of makes his way up the entrance ramp, and ever the professional heel, he berates them so they stop. Even though he's in so much pain, he's still got to, be a true heel. So shout out to Randy for that.
Exactly. Don't break kayfabe ever.
I'm not a huge Orton fan, but there I was just like, fucking A, man, keeping the business alive. That's why you were the original Evolution, Mark.
Exactly.
So Nat, do you have trivia this week? I don't know. We didn't arrange it. I don't have an intro for your trivia.
Excuse me?
Do you have a trivia segment this week?
Of course I do.
Oh, yeah, you didn't give me a line to deliver here.
I don't want you to deliver shit. Just say it's time for Nat's trivia.
Here we go.
It's time for Nat's trivia.
Oh, fuck, that was perfect, mate. Spot on.
I said all the words right.
It's now time for Nats. No gimmicks needed, unlike One Night Stand 2008 trivia.
Woo!
Woo, that's good. That's a good start. Alright, trivia score is a Pricey 4, Brandon 2.
Come back.
But before we get into the fucking trivia, we have a sponsor for the trivia, and this week we are sponsored by Misty's Diner.
Hey.
Would you like to say a few words, Pricey?
Indeed I would. Brandon, strap yourself in, mate. This is going to be a wild ride. Saturday night, myself and Nat and his lovely partner Brooke, we had some food. Myself and Brooke, we ate somewhere else, and then Nat didn't eat. He was full on appetizers and breadsticks and stuff or something.
Kayfabed him.
So we're sort of just hanging out, and I got, sort of later in the night, and Nat's like, oh, I'm kind of hungry, I could eat. And we're in the area of Misty's Diner, and we said to Nat, come on, mate, let's go to Misty's, let's go see her, the big dog, let's go see what she's up to, so you can get a meal. And so I thought I was playing a rib on Nat, I thought I was ribbing him, but we get there, it's like almost closing, like the kitchen's almost done. Misty organises something for Nat, gets some food for him.
Corn dog,
and then so it's just the three of us. There's an Indian couple with a kid, so there's those three. It's like a party of 12, Nat, you reckon?
yeah, about that.
Of the young ladies that are sort of just hanging out, being a little loud, but good for them. It's a Saturday night, you get rowdy if you want. And we must have timed it perfectly, because one of them got up and did a live performance in the diner with Misty recording. And she put it up on, I believe it's on her Facebook. If anyone wants to check it out.
A live performance of what?
All I Want for Christmas. You might actually know it. She went to her primary school, Bren.
Really?
Yeah.
Let's not name drop, because you never know.
Because she's famous.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll send you the link, Brandon. Get you to have a look at the video.
I can't wait.
It was
It was interesting.
The rib was on me. That's all I gotta say.
Rib backfired.
Does Misty just live at the diner? Like, why is she always there when you go?
She lives down the road. She walks her dog to work.
Go home, man. You don't have to be there 24/7.
Yeah, well, it's all part of the experience.
Let Pricey hate the onions in peace.
No, he wants to go back there. He wants to give it a chance.
Hey, man, I'll go there.
Oh, there we go. You'd like their taco nachos.
I'll go there. I'll order something with onions on it, and they'll do the Pricey.
It's kind of mean of you.
Yeah, don't do that, man.
Did she remember who you were?
She kind of remembers us, yeah.
I don't know if she remembers me.
Oh, not Pricey, no.
Because that would have been super awkward if she remembered you.
He didn't say he hated the food, though. He said he was full.
Yeah, I kayfabed her. Oh, sorry, I had a big lunch. Sorry, Misty.
All right. So, are we ready for trivia?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, 2 of my questions are already gone, but that's okay.
Best of 8.
Question 1. How many stretcher matches are there?
I'm going to say 3.
I reckon it's 5.
Pricey's closest, it's 6. And I actually wrote them down this week. Lesnar Big Show 03 Judgment Day. Edge Kane 05 Raw. RVD Orton the year before. This one, Hardy's in 09. And the last one was Cena Kane at Money in the Bank 2014.
Wow.
I remember all of those stretcher matches in some capacity except the Cena Kane one.
Yeah, I don't remember that either. Is that... okay. Your mic didn't... I thought your mic cut out again. You were saying something.
Nah, I was just sitting back thinking about how I need to make up the points.
Well, question 2. First in, true or false? This is the last first blood match ever.
True.
Oh, wow. I'm just going to give you both a point, even though it makes no difference to the score.
That doesn't make any sense.
This makes no difference to the score. Question 3. First in, what commentator on this night has never wrestled?
Mike Adamle.
Nice.
I thought you were about to say wrong and fucking... It was somebody else.
I thought it was going to be a trick question.
Question 4. How many wins did Bam Nealy get in his WWE run in 2008?
So just in 2008?
Yeah, because he had one match in 2007 against the Highlanders. And he has one match on WWF Jacked in 2000.
I fucking love when random guys just had matches on like Jacked or fucking Action Zone and shit. I'm gonna say he won.
Oh, I can tell you he had 13 matches for the year.
I want to say he won 2 matches, and they were all tag matches involving like fucking the Edgeheads and Chavo and shit.
Nah, he would have won 5 at least.
Brandon's closest. It's 3, and I think 2 were tag matches. One was a singles.
Unbelievable. Strap the rockets to him.
Yeah, so that's a thing that happened. And let's never speak about it again. Alright, question 5. How many days was Mike Adamle the Draw General Manager for? Closest answer wins.
28.
74.
Brandon's closest, 98.
Really? Was it that long?
He had a nice little run.
Shit.
Bit of
Do you know
run,
who
yeah.
was replaced by?
William Regal.
Oh, okay, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, question 6. How many gimmick matches on pay-per-view has The Undertaker been in since this?
Gimmick matches. Yeah,
Blue pants.
If you want me to, I can tell you how many... No, I won't tell you how many matches in total.
I'm going to say 19.
Blue pants.
Wait, you say how many gimmick matches?
Yeah.
Um,
That's not tag matches or the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. I mean, Buried Alive. And then like a bunch of Hell in a Cells. So 9. All up maybe.
Brandon's closest again. He said 19, and it's 20.
Ooh.
And I can tell you, he's had 30 pay-per-view matches that aren't Royal Rumble. And 20 of them are gimmicks.
Got to carry him through.
So he is being carried pretty heavily.
Just hang him up, dead man.
The last non-gimmick match was that Crown Jewel one.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, because that happens. Question 7. I'm going by Wikipedia here, so can you give me total attendance for all 4 One Night Stand pay-per-views?
Blue pants.
I want to say 55,650.
Wrong.
Pants.
I reckon it's... Because the first 2 were Hammerstein, weren't they? So they probably did like a couple thousand.
Yep.
Oh, fuck, I forgot they were Hammerstein. Fuck.
What did you say, Pricey?
28,000 and 22.
You're closest. It's 21,921.
Damn
When you
right.
think about it, TLC probably just did more than that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Damn.
I mean, Hammerstein's not big, so...
Yeah.
Did
it's
not
about
factor in that it
2,000.
was Hammerstein. I just thought about there's 4 of them.
That's why I was confident that you were wrong.
All right. Score
Goddamn.
stands. Brandon 5, Brody 3.
Yep.
There's 3 questions, but one of them really, I don't know if I should let you have it because it's been answered. But Brody, there is a chance.
I mean, we'll just leave that one till last, and if I get these 2, then we can...
Okay, I'll leave this last. All right, question 8. What future WWE Tag Champion got drafted in the 2008 draft to SmackDown, but he never debuted?
I
first in as well.
Oh man, I think I actually know this, but that's on the tip of my tongue.
Wait, what do you mean he never debuted? Like after
He never
the
wrestled
Battle?
on.
He never wrestled.
Oh, I know.
But he goes on in the future to win the WWE Tag Titles.
Oh my god.
What a great question.
This is actually a great
If you don't want to throw, if you want a hint, I can give a hint. If you don't want to throw an answer out, it's getting down to the nitty gritty.
I can't even think of an answer at the moment. Like it's there in my
Kofi
brain,
Kingston.
but
Kofi Kingston?
No,
No, fuck me.
I can give a hint, but since Brody answered, I won't give it.
I can't even think of anything. No, I'm stumped. I can't give you one.
Okay, I won't count it, but I'll give you a hint now. He's in New Japan right now. Does that help at all?
It should, but I don't know why.
He's a big fella.
Camacho.
He might be a part of a squad.
Is it actually Camacho?
He may be part of a killer elite squad.
Oh, Vance Archer. Or
Oh, it would be
Gage Smith.
Gage Smith. This is right around the time
no.
Gage Smith fucked off.
He was apparently on Raw and then drafted SmackDown and sent to FCW.
wow.
Yeah, that was a good question. That stumped me completely.
So no winners there, but actually also I've got here from that same draft, very shitty draft. 3 more people got drafted, and they also didn't make debuts. Big Daddy V and Trevor Murdoch were drafted to SmackDown.
Did Big Daddy
And
V
they
never
were-
wrestle on SmackDown?
No, not as a drafted superstar.
Oh, okay.
And also the reverse, Chuck Palumbo was drafted from SmackDown to Raw and never made a debut,
Nah,
which I actually remember that.
he didn't get to ride his motorbike on Raw.
He didn't. So it's 2 more questions, 1 average one. So there's still a chance, Brody.
You never know.
Well, question 9. First in, what new thing did Randy Orton gain before the pay-per-view?
The punt kick?
Ba-bow.
New thing of the game.
New thing?
What new thing did he have?
Theme song?
Pardon?
Theme song?
Nice. Correct.
As soon as I said punt kick, I'm like,
May 12th he got it, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so Brody, if you can somehow answer this quicker than Brandon, I'll give you the points, and I will have to make up a tiebreaker on the spot.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. First in question. What goes wrong in Molina's entrance?
the dude falls over the
falls over.
photographer guy.
Oh, that's photo finish. I can't give it. I have to give it the points to Brandon.
Just give it to him. It's in the Christmas spirit.
I have to give it to Brandon.
I'm coming
So-
back.
Congratulations, Brandon. You're on 3 in total now.
All the
Price
haters
is on
said I wasn't good at trivia.
Price is
but
on
now I am.
4. You know, we're playing for that Trivia World Cup
Yeah.
that'll never be claimed.
It'll be claimed in my mind.
Someone's going to come in the last.
Exactly right. So, that does it for my trivia. Thank you.
Really good stuff. Really good stuff.
Hey, there's some real stumping questions in that trivia.
Yeah, well, I had no motivation, and it was very hard to find questions.
You know what they say? Coal turns into diamond under pressure.
Michael Cole.
Coal mine.
Hey, next week, Christmas themed questions. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's true. Our next episode is a Christmas episode.
Oh.
I can't wait, Nat. You better be loading us up with just random questions about Santa.
Rasher, Dasher, and Rasher and Bacon.
Name all of Santa's reindeer and Pinky, Dinky, Slinky, and Queasy.
Rasher, Dasher, fascism, racism.
Okay, so moving on to the main event here, we have Edge defeating The Undertaker in a tables, ladders, and chairs match for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. This is the longest match on the card. It goes 23 minutes and 50 seconds, and it's the equally highest rated match on the card from Dave Meltzer. It gets 3.5 stars.
It's away from recapturing the gold that was unceremoniously stripped from him.
He's on one leg. But then
He was.
In this match, we get Edge splashing Undertaker through a table awkwardly. Undertaker chokeslams Edge on a ladder that's set up between the ring and the barricade, but it doesn't break, and he just bounces off it. Undertaker starts to climb the ladder here, and it kind of looks like he's going to win, but the Edge heads attack him. They then place him on a table and put another table on top of him, but Taker ends up fighting back and throws Hawkins through a table at ringside. He then chokeslams Ryder through a table. Edge then gets back in the ring and spears Taker to the outside, and then Edge climbs the ladder, but Undertaker grabs him and delivers the last ride through double stacked tables. Taker climbs the ladder, but this time Bam, Nealy, and Chavo run out and attack him. They miss a concerto, and Undertaker disposes of them. Taker climbs yet again, but Edge pushes the ladder over, and Taker goes through the tables that were stacked at ringside a bit earlier. Edge then pulls down the belt and wins. What did you guys think of this match?
Did I pick this event because I thought it would be the shits, or did I pick it because I thought we'd finally get a good Undertaker match? I guess we'll never know.
I think you picked it because you wanted to see Mike Adamle.
Okay, that was the correct answer. Good work. I thought, going into it, I thought it would be really good. And it was good. I don't know. I guess I was expecting a bit more. I don't know what I was expecting, but maybe I just had too high of expectations. It was still a good match, but I thought there'd be a bit more for some reason.
I think you were expecting the Jeff Hardy Edge spear spot.
Yeah, I don't know why Taker didn't want to do that.
Which one would Undertaker be, the spear guy or the dude hanging on?
Let's just say the spear, just to make it interesting.
What would you think of the match, Nat?
It was okay. I mean, there's some cool spots, and I don't know. Take a look slow at times, very gassed. He's a bit of an old boy. The Major Figure Wrestling Podcast made an appearance.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that they had a bunch of wrestling figure podcast guys show up at this pay-per-view.
Bam nearly hits Chavo in the face. It was a really weird spot. I didn't really know what they were actually doing, and I don't know. It was an okay match. I really hated the finish. Taker just blatantly sets up the ladder on that side.
Yeah, it's I mentioned here, but there's a few spots in this match that are like that. But
Sorry, no, you cut out there, man. So we
Cut out there.
I was just saying there's a few spots that were kind of like that were just kind of obviously scripted, and they didn't really hide it too much.
Yeah.
I'm kind of similar to you guys in this match. I thought it was a good TLC match, but I just, for whatever reason, I didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. I was expecting a little bit more out of it. I really like their WrestleMania match, and I was just thinking this was going to be a barn burner, and instead it just turned out to be a decent match, which you can't really complain too much about. But I don't know, I just wanted it to be better.
Also, why was Kurt Hawkins gonna do a bloody frog splash onto the table?
That doesn't. Yeah,
The table was stacked on top of him.
Just don't think about it too much. Oh wow. So yeah, I was mentioning the spots that are kind of shittily done. And another one that was kind of poor was when Edge, he obviously rearranges the ladder so that he can be given the last ride through the table.
Yeah.
Because instead of having it perfectly set up, in the middle of the ring, it's kind of diagonal. Also, fun little thing to do in TLC matches or ladder matches is that the match is never ending unless they're climbing up so they can face hard cam.
Exactly right.
And once you learn that, it kind of ruins ladder matches for you because you just know they're not done until homeboy is fucking facing the camera.
So Asuka did that today, though. Did Asuka face the hard cam?
She was facing hard cam, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Damn. God damn, that's ruined every match for me.
Also, there was so many unprotected chair shots to the head here, which I was surprised considering Benoit killed his family almost a year to the day, I want to say. Like, I would have thought they'd outlawed the fucking chair shot to the head, but whatever. It's actually, June 24 is when he killed his family and himself, so...
No, it's the anniversary.
Can I just point out, I find some weird shit when I Google shit. So I Google Chris Benoit, and it comes up with videos from YouTube, and there's a video titled, from the YouTube channel Wrestling Shoots from April 23, 2018, titled, Chris Benoit was killed by someone, Hornswoggle on the Benoit murders. I've always wanted to know what Hornswoggle thinks of the Benoit murders.
Put in your watch list, mate.
I will. Also, I'm gonna put in 10 disturbing facts that prove Chris Benoit is innocent. In way.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh wow, this is... The internet is just too much, man.
I just want to point out that I have a lot of respect for Taker taking the bump through the 4 tables.
Yeah, he's a fucking deathmatch flippy shit guy now.
Old ass Undertaker just going, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'll crash through 4 tables off a ladder. I don't care.
Also, it really didn't look like those tables broke his fall that much. It looks like he went through one table and then kind of missed the rest. So he's just taking a bump from a huge ladder to the outside.
He loves it. He loves it.
He might have actually had to retire after this match that had gone badly. I think my final note here is, do you remember when Vince would let SmackDown main event a dual brand pay-per-view? That comment made a lot more sense before today.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I was reading that comment, I was like, I do remember. It was...
He fucked it up.
I was watching a couple hours ago.
God damn it!
Vinnie Mac.
It made a lot of sense until they decided they were going to have the women's match be the main event. I should have seen that coming as well. Raw didn't really have anything to main event the pay-per-view.
Becky Lynch is the main event, mate.
I think you'll find that the true main event is Carmella and R-Truth taking their trip to... Where are they going?
Stanford.
I
can't wait for that on SmackDown, I'm going to be honest.
I might actually tune into SmackDown for that.
It's going to be so good.
Do either of you have any final notes on the main event?
Not really, I don't think.
What about you, Nat?
Out of all of the TLC matches, this is the caringest.
The whatingest?
Tender loving caringest.
It is. So, out of all the TLCs I've seen, this definitely wasn't the channel that's on Foxtel that always plays extreme couponing.
And all the Guy Fieri shows.
Yeah, shout out to TLC. That's a good channel. So after the match, the Undertaker sits up and walks out, and they're really teasing that he's retiring. The crowd's giving him a standing ovation. They've been teasing this dude's retirement for a whole fucking decade, and the dude just won't give it up. I honestly think he's gonna either die or have a career-ending injury before he stops.
When do you guys think he has his last match? Honestly.
Well, he's gonna verse Cena again this year.
You reckon?
Yep.
Oh no! Why?
At this point,
rematch.
At this point, there's no perfect time for him to retire now. Him after losing would have made sense. Him after fucking losing to Roman would have made sense.
I think that would have been perfect. The Roman thing was perfect. He left everything in the ring. It would have been fine. Put Roman over on the way out.
Comes back.
Yeah.
The only thing I can see now to be a fitting end to his career is if he wrestles Kane at WrestleMania. But I don't Kane has come back, but I don't know how many times he's going to be let off for wrestling while he's mayor of Knox County.
I mean, what? He's not him beating Undertaker now for a young guy. I don't think it does anything really.
At this point, no. Even when Roman did it, it was not a whole lot. I think Bray Wyatt was probably the last time it would have meant something.
I think it was cool, like, because Roman's like the big dog, and like he can say that it's like his yard and all that shit.
But yeah, it doesn't really do anything for anyone else now.
Yeah, now it's pointless. I think.
It's just you beat up an old man.
Yeah, like now I feel bad for him. Like, what are you beating him up for?
This guy's got a family, he's got kids and shit. Like, leave him alone. He's probably on the pension.
At this point, I want to be alive to see him go into the Hall of Fame. So like, I'm gonna hang him up. You know, I might die before he gets.
Clock's ticking, man.
Yeah, like, what happens if I die in a couple of years, man? I'm not gonna
just straight up hit by a bus.
Yeah, you never know.
So, what did we think was the match of the night here?
Ooh, that's a good question. I reckon the opener. I reckon the opener's my favourite.
Yeah, this is a tricky one. What did you think, Nat?
I'd say the TLC match, but yeah, I like the opener because didn't really rate the stretcher match that much.
I think technically, probably the main event is the best match on the card. But yes, for enjoyment, I think the first two matches on the card are the matches I enjoyed the most. Like, I think if I was going to say what my personal favourite was, Jeff Hardy and Umaga definitely takes the cake there. But yeah.
Wait. Sorry, we've been doing this for 16 episodes. Match of the night, does that mean our favourite match or what we think the best match was? Like,
either or. It's a very loose term.
Okay. I mean, yeah, you're right. I think maybe Undertaker Edge might be the best match, but I personally enjoyed Jeff and Umaga the best.
Yeah, I reckon I'm probably the same with that. What did we think was the worst match of the night, though?
Probably close friend of the podcast.
I think that's a good question. John Cena and JBL maybe, or the I Quit submission match.
I think mine is probably a toss up between those two. The I Quit match is terrible, but it only goes 9 minutes, whereas John Cena and JBL's First Blood match is terrible and it goes an extra 5 minutes. So it's like, I don't know. It's one of those. Probably the First Blood match because I at least enjoyed the finish to the I Quit match, whereas I can't really say the same about the First Blood match. So our final overall thoughts on One Night Stand Extreme Rules 2008.
Sort of just the middle of pack pay-per-view. Couple of good matches, great backstage segment with Adamle, and some average matches as well. So not the best, not the worst.
What about you, Nat?
I'd say it's like a middle of the pack kind of show, but it's be an upper one since it's not just it's normal singles matches. It's got a lot of gimmicks.
Yeah,
would keep you a little bit interested.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I think it's an okay pay-per-view. I think it's impressive how good it is, like storyline and match quality wise, considering they had a pay-per-view 2 weeks before it. Like, I feel like you don't really, when you just watch the show, you can't really tell that they had a pay-per-view only 2 Sundays earlier. So, I mean, I appreciate the pay-per-view from that standpoint, but yeah, it's kind of forgettable outside of Orton snapping his collarbone and Undertaker fake retiring. So that leads us into the aftermath of this event, and the Edge and Undertaker feud would continue until SummerSlam. Edge would banish the Undertaker from the WWE, and CM Punk would cash in his Money in the Bank contract on June 30 and defeat Edge for the World Heavyweight Championship. So during the wedding of Edge and Vicky Guerrero, Triple H came out and showed a video of Edge cheating on Vicky with Alicia Fox. There is just so much going on here. Fucking... I've totally forgot about Alicia Fox doing this.
Got to make the marriage.
Triple H just really enjoys coming out at weddings and showing videos.
It's probably their idea here.
It actually probably is meant to be done as a little callback. So after Edge fails to win back the WWE Championship, Vicky Guerrero would reveal that she had rehired The Undertaker on SmackDown and booked a Hell in a Cell match at SummerSlam. At the pay-per-view, Undertaker would defeat Edge, and after the match, Undertaker would chokeslam Edge through the ring. So over on ECW, Big Show would challenge for the ECW Championship at the Night of Champions pay-per-view, with Mark Henry being added to the match. At Night of Champions, Mark Henry defeated the Big Show and Kane in a triple threat hoss fight match for the ECW Championship. And so over on Raw, after Randy Orton broke his collarbone, Triple H would defend his WWE Championship at Night of Champions against John Cena. On June 23, Triple H was drafted to SmackDown and started a feud with Edge. He later defeated Edge at the Great American Bash for the WWE Championship, and after defending the title against the Great Khali, Jeff Hardy, and Vladimir Kozlov, Triple H finally lost it to Edge at Survivor Series in a triple threat match involving Kozlov. And you can check our review out of that on the archives, because we fucking tear into that. That was god-awful.
It was.
Shit.
That was honest. I think Survivor Series 94 might be the worst pay-per-view we've watched start to finish. But that match, oh god.
It's right up there.
Terrible.
Whoever decided that we should get like 15 minutes of Triple H and Vladimir Kozlov mat wrestling, need to be punched in the mouth. So 1 month later, at Armageddon, Edge would defend the championship in a triple threat match, which ended up being won by Jeff Hardy. And so, as I mentioned, the next WWE pay-per-view was Night of Champions on June 29, and the card for that night was John Morrison and The Miz defending their WWE Tag Team Championships against Finlay and Hornswoggle. Which,
Sounds fair.
That's a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. We also had, and this is what I mean by, stuff changing so quickly. Like, Matt Hardy here is the champion in the United States Championship match, and he defeats Chavo Guerrero. But Matt Hardy wins, the ECW title in, a month. Which is, stuff just happened out of nowhere here. So Mark Henry defeats Kane and the Big Show to win the ECW Championship. Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. defeat Hardcore Holly in a handicap tag match. It's kind of weird to describe what it was, but they win the World Tag Team titles. Kofi Kingston defeats Chris Jericho to win the Intercontinental Championship. Mickie James defeats Katie Lee Burchill to retain the Women's Championship. So, shout out to that.
That sounds terrible, but it got 2 stars, so...
I recently saw I think it was when Paul Burchill and Katie Lee Burchill debuted on Raw, and she's, I don't know if they were going for an incest angle, but she's calling, Paul Burchill beautiful and shit. Real creepy. Don't check it out on the network. But in the main event, we get Edge defeating Batista to retain the World Heavyweight Championship, and Triple H defeating John Cena to also retain the WWE Championship. Which basically does us for this week's show. Thanks for listening to the Wrestle Hunks Podcast. You can find the show on Twitter and Instagram at WrestleHunksPod. I'm on Twitter as @SauceMarlow, and Pricey is on Twitter as @EvilBrodyPrice, and Nat is on Twitter as @NathMarlow. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Spotify, all good services except Google Play. And feel free to rate us on iTunes or whatever podcast service you listen to us to. And this week we don't have a poll. We're just no poll, unfortunately, which is a bummer end to the podcast.
We're just free balling.
Quiet week.
Well, it's the holiday season. We're having to pre-record a Christmas episode as well as a New Year's episode, and there's going to be a best of. So no poll this week, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But if you listen to our Christmas episode, you will see the New Year's poll. Who's going to win? I hope that event I put in there wins.
Oh, it's going to be mine.
Damn, Pricey's going to win again.
Oh, mate. If Pricey keeps cheating by putting in the good events...
Oh, that random wild card, it surprisingly did well.
Oh, Slam City actually did well for once. I was going to say now, Slam City, I can't believe it won the New Year's poll. It's not even a New Year's thing.
Oh, hey. Should be.
It's my New Year's tradition.
Yeah.
I drink exactly one beer and then I put on Slam City and watch it start to finish.
Yeah, this is what an awkward finish to the podcast, huh?
I know it's I don't know what to do. We've had structure for fucking 4 months, and then now's this.
Stay chunky.
How's your day been, guys? Not bad.
Just watch wrestling with some guy.
Yeah, is he cute?
A little bit.
Yeah, no.
He came over bringing cookies and gingerbread, so.
Oh, is it Santa?
It was. It was Mick Foley dressed as Santa.
Stay chunky, lover 56.
Do either of you got any random sign-off notes? Any matches for us to watch this week?
Ooh, go watch the pre-show from TLC.
Yeah, do that. Watch the 205 live match.
Very good, very good.
Pricey also forgot to mention you should watch Ricochet versus the other guy, Tyler Breeze.
My boy Tyler Breeze went back to NXT and had a barn burner. Go watch that, please.
I didn't even know that was a actual taped thing.
Go watch.
It was on Twitter everywhere.
Go watch EC3 versus Bobby Fish, and then skip the rest of NXT to the main event and watch Tyler Breeze. They kill it.
That sounds like a plan. I might watch that after I binge watch the rest of Edge and Christian's show.
Yeah, let's just watch in the shower.
Might have a bath.
Oh,
That's dirty.
Well, I guess that does us for this week. Stay hunky.
Can't wait to go shower.